So this one's quick and a little bit speculative, but we Ukraine has for the past few days been warning that Russia might be planning some kind of nuclear or chemical false flag. So we've had a couple of nuclear scares already. Obviously, there was the initial attack on Chernobyl, where radioactive dust near the settlement was disturbed, which led to a spike in radioactive activity. We had I believe it was a rocket that struck one of the largest nuclear power plants operating in Ukraine, operating in all of Europe, actually. But thankfully, modern nuclear power plants are designed to withstand basically everything except for a nuclear bunker buster. They are quite well armored for reasons that you can probably understand. I want to explain really quickly what a nuclear meltdown is, okay? Just so you guys understand sort of the threat at hand here, the reason why these plants are dangerous. So, a meltdown at a nuclear plant doesn't turn it into a bomb. That's not really what happens, okay? To put it very simply, because I am not an expert, all right? The basic gist of it is that they find spicy rocks in the ground, and they refine them to make them very spicy rocks, all right? And these very spicy rocks, when put in particular containment vessels, get spicier and spicier and hotter, and that heat then is used to evaporate water, which turns turbines. It's basically steam power, except instead of using coal to evaporate the water, it's spicy rocks, okay? Basically the gist. And the concern is that a reactor meltdown, and it's much harder to have a reactor meltdown these days, but it is a thing that can happen. A reactor meltdown is essentially, see, the spicy rocks are kind of like inherently spicy. And if they're in containment in the wrong way and their temperature isn't controlled, they can have what is known as a spicy overload, where they get so spicy that they actually damage their containment, and you then have essentially uncontained super spicy rocks, right? Very dangerous stuff there. They produce a lot of heat. The heat can destroy internal mechanisms, which can lead to explosions. And the real concern here isn't the rocks themselves. The real concern is the radiation. See, radiation from nuclear rods inside power plants themselves doesn't travel that far. Like if there's like a nuclear rod like a mile over there, just out in the open air, like that radiation's not going to kill you. Not even close, right? The danger is that the radiation irradiates nearby dust and dirt, and the explosions kick dust and dirt up into the air. That's the real problem. That was the concern with Chernobyl as well. You have a meltdown, and the meltdown leads to a number of internal mechanical problems in the plant, which can lead to explosions, and the explosions kick up air, which is filled with dust, and the dust has been irradiated. So now you have these giant plumes of irradiated dust, which go up into the air, and they stay irradiated for years and years and years, and they fall all over Europe, and then people have spicy dust everywhere, and then they get cancer and die. You understand? That's a very simple, and there are different types of nuclear power plants, it's very, very complicated stuff. I'm just giving a simple explanation. That's the basic gist. The point that should be noted is that given the worst possible set of circumstances, a nuclear meltdown from a reactor could cause a plume of radioactive dust and debris, which could potentially drape itself over a good bit of Europe, which would be bad. Actually, that'd be very bad. What was the projected fallout from Chernobyl if those brave engineers hadn't gone in there and suicided to shut down the plant? Like, that cloud could have potentially coated, like, yeah, like a good part of Europe. I mean, that would have been basically a quarter of the Earth, I believe. Not good. Not great. Shouldn't do that. That would be bad. So anyway, we've had a couple of nuclear scares in the in the Ukraine conflict thus far. I will admit that while I am a proponent of nuclear energy, the fact that nuclear power plants are uniquely dangerous if attacked is a concern. Look, let's invest in nuclear energy, but only in countries that have nuclear weapons, so nobody invades them. Because if anybody invades a country with nuclear weapons, we have bigger problems on our plate than the fallout from their plants being destroyed, okay? God, I have to close the door. Sorry, I hear pigeon screaming. Pigeon, pigeon, pigeon.